Good evening mga ka-spacers and mga ka-scientia out there. And welcome to this online telescope viewing of our waning crescent moon at about 26% illumination. So today mga ka-spacers is June 5, 2021. And right now you are seeing on screen our waning crescent moon at about 26% illumination. So I was able to record the image of the moon this early morning of June 5, 2021. Kaninang madaling araw ko po na i-record yung image ng buwan na nakikita nyo po ngayon sa inyong mga screen. Okay, siguro mga 4:30 po kaninang madaling araw. Okay, so waning crescent, so that means that this is now between last quarter and new moon, and waning because gradually the moon is decreasing in size. It appears that the moon is decreasing in size, and you will notice po yung crescent shape niya parang kinagat na cookie or parang bangka yung shape ng buwan. Okay po, so today is June 5, 2021, and we are doing this so that you will stay in your own homes and hindi pa tayo pwedeng mag public telescope viewing na face to face dahil po sa banta ng COVID-19. So we are doing this online telescope viewing at the comfort of your own homes. Yan, and I am bringing the telescope to you mga ka-spacers. Yan, ayan ang aming advocacy dito sa BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. We are bringing the telescope to you. Alright, and in a few minutes, we will magnify the image of the moon. Dahil yun ang gustong-gusto ni Miss Cheryl Castillo. Okay, so bago tayo po magpatuloy, gusto ko lang po magpasalamat dun sa mga tumangkilit dun sa aking pinost kanina na image ng Jupiter. So maraming salamat Mr. Lawrence Alipio, estudyante ko to. And also maraming salamat din po sa mga tumangkilik kagabi dun sa replay ng Space, The Final Frontier. Ang title po niya ay Space Shuttle. So that was a replay of that episode about the Space Shuttle. Alright, so maraming salamat kina A.G. Garcia, Bea Milyama, Juliana Kate Aliaga, and ang aming head director na nanood si Mr. Cruz Pakulanan. Okay, and also po kagabi nag-conduct din po ako ng online telescope viewing June 4 kagabi po, and maraming salamat po sa inyo doon sa mga nanood at sa mga nag-react doon sa aking online telescope viewing kagabi. So kina Miss Angel Ferrer, kay Dr. Armando Lee, nag-react po siya and nagtanong kung ano daw yung ginamit ko na telescope. Ayan, so maraming salamat Dr. Armando Lee. Ayan. And kay Lorenzo Biodaro, Teresa Dava, Joel Caballero Cantila, kay Miss Charity Bugay, and kay Miss Andre Caparos. Ayan po. So maraming salamat po, and siguro hindi ko na rin nabanggit yung mga pangalan ninyo dahil sa dami po ninyong nanood kagabi. So maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtangkilik sa aking online telescope viewing kagabi. Alright, so sana nanonood po kayo ngayon, and please like and share this live stream of our online telescope viewing tonight so that we could reach more people, makarating po sa mga estudyante at ma-inspire natin sila to love the sciences, especially astronomy. Kasi yan po talagang aming advocacy dito sa BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, and yun din po yung aming advocacy sa Manila Street Astronomers. Okay, so in a few moments now, we will magnify the image of our moon. Shout out sa mga students ko from 11 and 12 STEM, and shout out sa mga outgoing officers ko of the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, yung mga graduating ng mga officers ko. Maraming salamat sa inyong serbisyo for the entire school year. Okay, so let's get ready mga ka-spacers, mga ka-siyensya, and let us magnify the image of our moon. Get ready, Miss Cheryl Castillo and kay Miss Cherry Serrano. Okay, so fasten your seat belts mga ka-spacers. And here we go. Yan, ang ganda po, di ba? Fascinating indeed. Ayan, this is now the magnified image of our waning crescent moon. And kung mapapansin po ninyo, hindi na ho natin makita yung Copernicus crater unlike yung kagabi. Yung aking online telescope viewing kagabi, nakikita pa natin. Pero ngayon hindi na, nasa unlighted side na ho ng buwan yung Copernicus crater. Pero meron tayong nakikitang smaller crater na nasa tapat lang po niya. And nasa gitna ngayon po kung nakikita nyo on screen. So that's the Kepler crater. Okay, so this Kepler crater was named after the renowned astronomer Johannes Kepler. And alam natin siya, in history, he came up with the 3 laws of planetary motion. So he came up with the idea that the planets, they revolve around the sun in an elliptical path. So hindi circular, hindi kagaya nung sinabi ni Ptolemy, di ba? So the orbits of the planets are elliptical or oval in shape. Alright, and as the planet moves closer to the sun, the orbital speed increases, and as the planet moves away from the sun, the orbital speed decreases. Alright, and also according to Johannes Kepler, the farther away the planet is from the sun, the longer is its orbital period. Like for example, Mercury, diba? Mercury is the closest planet from the sun. It orbits the sun every 88 days. Mabilis, right? Compared to our planet, medyo malayo po tayo sa sun, and our planet revolves around the sun every 365 days. So the farther the planet is from the sun, the longer is its orbital period. So ang galing, even without the telescope, Kepler was able to determine, and he came up with these laws of planetary motion using mathematics. Ayan po. Right, but he cannot explain kung bakit ganon yung motion ng mga planets. Alright, so but it was Newton who was able to explain because of his law of gravitation. Alright, so napakaganda po ng istorya ng mga astronomers na ito. Alright, Kepler, then sila Galileo, sila Newton. Alright, so may episode po tayo niyan ng Space the Final Frontier about the history of astronomy. So siguro i-replay ko yan po one of these days. Alright, so sana po nagustuhan niyo po yan, yung ating magnified image of the waning crescent moon. Ayan, and sana natutunan po ninyo yung contribution ni Johannes Kepler sa astronomy. Alright, so I guess we have to return now the moon to its original size. Ayan, so sana nagustuhan niyo ito, Miss Cheryl Castillo and Cherry Serrano. Ayan, so balik na natin yung buwan sa kanyang original size. Ayan po, so sana po nagustuhan niyo po yan. And we will magnify again the image of the moon mamaya-maya po ng konti. Okay, and in the second half of our online telescope viewing, I will be pointing my telescope towards the mighty Jupiter. Ayan po, siguro magtataka kayo kung paano ko to ginagawa, and ito rin yung tinatanong ni Dr. Armando Lee kagabi. So I am using a refurbished Mizar reflecting Newtonian telescope. Refurbished po kasi luma na po ito. Actually, nabili ko po to sira-sira, and I was able to purchase the telescope for only, would you believe, 2,000 pesos only. Ito yung kinikwento ko to lagi pag nag-online telescope viewing po ako. So 2,000 pesos lang po na may tripod, ayan, buti hindi sira yung mirrors, yung body tube niya medyo kalawang, and may mga scratches, may mga dents. So I repaired the body tube, pininturahan ko po siya, and inalign ko po yung mga mirrors, nilinisan ko po siya, pinalitan ko yung eyepiece na medyo mas modern. Okay, and nilagyan ko po siya ng camera adapter, and inayos ko po yung mount niya. And lo and behold, ang ganda po. Look at the images of the moon sa aking mga online telescope viewings, di ba? Very crisp and clear yung images po ng buwan and yung mga planets. Okay, so konting tiyaga lang talaga kasi I cannot afford to buy yung mga branded na telescope like yung Meade or yung Celestron kasi napakamahal po. Hindi naman po ako ganun kayaman. Alright, so hanggang Japan surplus lang po ako, aayusin ko po yan. Pagagandahin po natin yung mga telescopes na yan. Okay, so ayan po, and yung pag-record ng image ng buwan, gumamit lang po ako ng cellphone camera. Okay, and yung cellphone nakakabit sa isang camera adapter sa eyepiece ng telescope. Ayan po yan po yung aking kwento sa telescope na ginagamit ko. Ayan po, so Mizar, it's a Japan-made telescope. Yan, kaya may mga Japan-made telescopes, magaganda din po sila, and yung wooden tripod, very stable po siya. Yan, kaya kung makikita nyo, very minimal po yung mga vibrations kahit na nililipat-lipat ko yung image ng buwan. Very stable po yung tripod niya. As compared to the aluminum tripod, mas gusto ko po talaga yung wooden tripod. Okay, so in a few minutes, ima-magnify ulit po natin yung image ng buwan. Okay, so shout out sa mga members ng Manila Street Astronomers. Sana nanonood po kayo, and shout out din po sa mga members ng BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. Sana nanonood po kayo. Kung gusto niyo po magpa-shoutout, just type in your name and your location para alam po natin kung hanggang sa nakakaabot itong ating live stream ngayong gabi. And kung may mga comments po kayo about our lunar image tonight, or kung nagagandahan po kayo sa ating image of the moon, or kung may mga questions po kayo, feel free to type in your comments, your reactions, or your questions in the comment section below. Ayan po, so huwag kayong mahiya. And sasagutin ko po yan, yung mga tanong ninyo, or kung meron po kayong reactions about our lunar image. Okay, so talagang ganito lang po ang ating magagawa ngayon. Hindi talaga tayo pwedeng mag-public telescope viewing. And kasi baka magkaroon ng pag nakita nila yung telescope ko sa gitna ng daan, baka dumugin po tayo ng tao. Mass gathering po yan, baka maging super spreader event po yung public telescope viewing, and hindi po gusto ng ng IATF. So ito po yung magagawa natin. Mag-online muna tayo hanggang sa magiging mabuti na rin po ang ating sitwasyon in the future. So magkikita-kita rin po tayo. Wag po kayo mag-alala. Alright, magkikita-kita tayo soon. Alright, so in a few moments now, we will magnify the image of the moon. Okay, get ready, Miss Cheryl Castillo. Fasten your seatbelts. And here we go. Yan, okay. So, ang ganda po. Alright, so again, kung mapapansin po ninyo, yung Copernicus crater ay hindi na ho natin siya nakikita. Unlike kagabi po, yung mga nakatutok po at nakasubaybay po sa aking online telescope viewing kagabi, June 4. Kitang-kita pa yung Copernicus crater po doon. Ngayon po, hindi na. Okay, pero meron tayong nakikitang smaller crater na sa gitna po ng ating lunar image. That's the Kepler crater, named after the renowned astronomer Johannes Kepler, who came up with the 3 laws of planetary motion. Yan, siguro alam niyo po yung inyong astronomy history. Ayan po. So imagine para kayong nasa Apollo spacecraft orbiting the moon, di ba ho? Ayan, so para kayong nanunod kayo sa window ng Apollo spacecraft. Yan, fascinating po, di ba? Eh, nung bata ako, talagang gusto ko po maging astronaut. Ito rin laging kinikwento. Yan, so nung bata ako, talagang gusto ko maging astronaut. Yan ang kurso na gusto ko talagang kunin. Pag tinatanong po ng teacher, what do you want when you grow up? Yan, so sasagutin ko yung teacher, Ma'am, I want to be an astronaut. I want to go to the moon. Wala po eh. Hindi tayo naging astronaut. At hindi rin tayo nakapunta sa buwan. Alright, so ito yung the best na magagawa natin. So imagine po natin, habang nakatutok po yung telescope sa buwan, imagine na nakasakay tayo sa Apollo spacecraft. Alright, and namnamin po ninyo ang ganda ng ating magnified image of the moon. Ayan, so sana po nagustuhan niyo po yan. Lalong-lalo na si Miss Cheryl Castillo. Sana nakatutok po kayo, ma'am. And kay Miss Cherry Serrano. Ayan po, kung nagagandahan po kayo sa magnified image ng buwan, just type in your comments, your reactions in our comment section below. Ayan, so kung namamangha kayo sa lunar surface, ayan, mag-comment lang po kayo. And kung mapapansin ninyo, di ba, very few na yung craters kasi ano na yun, yung mga patag na yun, yung mga dark areas of the moon, those are lunar plains. And yung mga bright areas, those are highlands and impact craters. So medyo konti na po yung mga cratered areas of the moon. Okay, so sana po nagustuhan niyo po yung ating magnified image of the moon. And so siguro ibalik na natin yung buwan sa kanyang original size. And we will proceed now to the second half, which is the online telescope viewing of the mighty Jupiter. Ayan po. So sana nagustuhan niyo po itong ating magnified image of the moon. Sige, ibalik na natin yung buwan sa kanyang original size. Yan. Okay. Alright po. So, yan. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagtutok sa ating online telescope viewing of the waning crescent moon at about 26% illumination. And in a few moments, we will be pointing the telescope towards Jupiter. Okay, so we will now point the telescope towards the mighty Jupiter with its Galilean moons. Okay, mga ka-spacers, mga ka-siyensya, so you are now viewing on screen the mighty Jupiter with the 4 Galilean moons. Unlike po yung kagabi dun sa ating online telescope viewing kagabi, yung 3 lang po yung nakita natin na Galilean moons kasi si Europa nasa likod ni Jupiter. Pero po ngayon, kitang-kita po ngayon yung 4. Alright? So yung large white disk that you are seeing on screen, that's the mighty Jupiter. Alright, and may makikita kayo mga 4 na smaller dots na magkakasunod. Alright, yung pinakamalapit sa Jupiter, that's Io. Then yung susunod, that's Ganymede. Then yung susunod is Europa. And yung last, yung nasa outer area, that's Callisto. So, ito po yung order ng mga moons. So, yung malaking white disk, that's Jupiter. Then, yung may makikita kayong 4 na smaller dots. So, yung malapit sa Jupiter, that's Io. Then, followed by Ganymede. Then, we have Europa and Callisto. Yan, but don't get me wrong, mga ka-spacers, Jupiter is orbited by 64 plus moons. Yan, so parang miniature solar system ang Jupiter. Jupiter is orbited by more than 64 moons. Pero ang nakikita po natin sa telescope ngayon ay yung 4 na pinakamalaki. And ito po yung nakita ni Galileo when he pointed his crude telescope towards Jupiter. Ito yung nakita niya itong 4. So para na rin po tayong si Galileo na tinutok po niya yung telescope sa Jupiter at nakita niya po itong 4 na ito. So that's why we call them the Galilean moons. Alright, itong si Io, ito yung malapit sa Jupiter, nakikita niyo po ngayon. Io is a very geologically active moon. With, would you believe, mga ka-spacers, with more than 400 active volcanoes. And when Voyager went on a flyby to Io, yung bumisita po yung Voyager space probe, marami siya nakita mga volcanoes na nag-e-erupt. Ayan po. So that's Io. And si Io ay medyo yellowish because the surface is covered with sulfur. And indicating volcanic activity on the surface of Io. Alright, so di ba fascinating indeed that Io is a geologically active moon. So nakakita tayo ng mga volcanoes that are erupting outside planet Earth. Alright. And yung susunod sa kanya, that's Ganymede. And Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. Yan, mas malaki pa yan sa Mercury po, mga ka-spacers. Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system. And Ganymede is heavily cratered. It's a heavily cratered moon of Jupiter. Then yung susunod sa ating order ngayong gabi, that's Europa, yung susunod. Na mga ka-spacers, Europa is a very interesting moon because nung dumaan po yung Voyager sa Europa, Voyager discovered that the surface of Europa is covered with water ice. Ice po. So, isa lang po ibig sabihin yan. So, beneath that icy solid sheet of Europa, there must be liquid water. Parang dito po, di ba? So on the surface, solid po yung water, ice, pero yung nasa ilalim niya is liquid water. So many astronomers believe na ganyan din po sa Europa. So beneath that solid icy sheet, there is liquid water. And you know what that means? So pag may liquid water, there must be microscopic life. Because as we know in astrobiology, the search for life outside planet Earth is the search for water. And beneath that icy sheet of Europa, there is liquid water. Ayan po. So NASA is actually planning a mission to Europa. Yan, they will drill a hole dun sa solid icy sheet. Then pag na-penetrate nila yung icy sheet na yan, magpapadala sila ng robotic submarine. Yan, to explore the beneath the icy sheet of Europa. Yan, so very interesting yan mga ka-spacers, no? Alright, and yung last is Callisto. Callisto is a heavily cratered moon just like Ganymede. Alright, so those are your Galilean moons. But again, mga ka-spacers, Jupiter is orbited by more than 64 moons. Yan, maraming moons. So, ang Jupiter po mga ka-spacers, para siyang miniature solar system. Alright. So, ganyan po ang Jupiter. And would you believe mga ka-spacers, Jupiter also is surrounded by rings. Yan po yung na-discover ng Voyager. May ring system ang Jupiter. Kaya lang hindi reflective yung rings niya because the rings of Jupiter is mostly dust particles. Unlike yung rings ng Saturn, medyo highly reflected po yung rings ng Saturn because the rings of Saturn is made up of ice particles na highly reflective siya. Okay, so ayan po ang Jupiter. Alright, and Jupiter is again a gas planet. The atmosphere is made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. Okay, so ayan po ang Jupiter with its Galilean moons. So kung meron po kayong mga tanong or reactions or comments about our image of Jupiter and yung kanyang Galilean moons, just feel free to type in your questions, your comments, or your reactions in our comment section below. Ayan, so wag po kayong mahiyat, sasagutin ko po yan. And kung gusto niyo po magpa-shoutout, just type your name and your location para alam po natin kung hanggang saan nakakaabot ang ating live stream. Okay, nakakamangha lang kasi ang yung ilaw ng Jupiter po, nagta-travel po yan ng malayo. Malayo po ang Jupiter. Pero nakikita po natin ngayon on screen. Diba ho? Malayo ang Jupiter, mas malayo. Pag pinoint natin sa Saturn. So, you can imagine the light traveling from Jupiter hanggang sa makarating po sa ating telescope. Okay? Ayan po. So, that's Jupiter with its Galilean moons. Okay po, mga ka-spacers, mga ka-siyensya. So, we are nearing the end of our online telescope viewing. 30 minutes lang po yung ating online telescope viewing. So again, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtangkilik sa ating mga online telescope viewings. Sana po maging normal na po ang ating buhay. Sana matapos na itong ating pandemya para makabalik po tayo sa ating ginagawa noon na public telescope viewing sa mga malls, sa mga parks. At talagang miss ko na talagang mag-conduct ng mga public telescope viewings din. So habang hindi pa normal ang ating buhay, habang nandyan pa yung COVID-19, ganito na lang muna po yung ating magagawa. Okay, and please like and share this online telescope viewing para makarating po sa maraming tao at makarating po sa mga estudyante out there para ma-inspire natin sila to love the sciences, especially astronomy. Ayan po. So, ako'y nagpapasalamat again sa mga tumutulong sa akin, sa mga officers ko ng BSYA. Maraming salamat po. And sa ating mga administrators ng San Beda University, thank you for supporting this astronomy organization. And kayo po, mga ka-spacers po, mga ka-siyensya na laging nakatutok po sa ating online telescope viewing, sa laging mga nakatutok sa Space, the Final Frontier every Saturday, and Friday, yung mga replays po every Friday, and yung mga new episodes po every Saturday. Maraming salamat po. Please continue na tumutok sa Space the Final Frontier at marami po kayong matututunan doon. Yan, so about sciences, about astronomy. So always watch every week Space the Final Frontier. Okay po, so I guess hanggang dito na lang po tayo sa ating online telescope viewing of the waning crescent moon kanina po at about 26% illumination. And itong nakikita nyo ngayon on screen, that's Jupiter with its Galilean moons. So again, bago tayo magtapos, ito po yung order niya. So may nakikita kayong white disk, yung malaking white disk. That's Jupiter. Then yung may makikita kayong apat na maliliit na dots. So yung malapit sa Jupiter, that's Io. Right, the most geologically active moon in the solar system. Followed by Ganymede, which is the largest moon in the solar system. Then Europa, okay, with the possibility of life. And Callisto, a heavily cratered moon of Jupiter. But again, Jupiter is orbited by 64 plus moons. Okay po, so I guess that's about it for tonight. Yan, so maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtutok ngayong gabi. And sana kung clear ang skies bukas, sana magawa pa natin to. Pero alam po natin pag June kasi, ito na yung start ng tag-ulan. Start na po ito ng habagat season. Yan, medyo tag-ulan at medyo nag-aalangan na po yung ating kalawakan. Alright, so sana magawa pa natin to. Tung June, saswertehin tayo, sana hindi po maulap. Alright, so maraming salamat. This is your Kaspacer and Space Commander, Professor Jun Cajigal, saying, live long and prosper. Okay, so sana wag po kayo magsawa sa ating mga online telescope viewings. Please like and share this video and follow us on our Facebook, the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, and follow us on Twitter at BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. Always stay safe, wear your face mask and face shield. Bye-bye everybody! And see you in our next online telescope viewing. Maraming salamat, Dr. Armando Lee. Thank you po.